What is up, everybody? Chris here from Cell Arts and Media. Tonight I'm doing an album review for a Seattle area band, the Filthy Traitors. They're dropping their full-length album Date Night in about 2 weeks, I think March 15th. And they sent me an advance copy, asked me to do a review. I have seen them a few times, so try to be neutral about it and relatively objective. And I'll also try to clarify, like, right, this isn't a heavily technical review. If you want that, just listen to the album, right? You could listen to any technical reviewer and then disagree with them. So what I'll be doing is basically giving you a little bit of history about the band, talking about the album a little bit, and then telling you, yes, go listen to it. Yes, go see this band live. And I'll give it a number rating. I hate number ratings, but I'll give it a number rating and then kind of qualify that a little bit. So that's what you're in for. So pause if you need to go pee or get something to drink or whatever. But here we go. So Filthy Traitors have been around since about 2016. They have an EP that they put out about 2021. And I think they started with, it was Chelsea on vocals and guitar with drummer Jack, and then lead guitarist Justin and Ryan on bass kind of fill out the band. And they call themselves murder punk. So if you think kind of like the punk rockiness of a band like Rise Against with a little bit of the Yeah Yeah Yeahs and Nirvana mixed in, and topics that deal with murders and killings or twisted love or kind of like anger towards events in the world, right? Not super heavy, although there are there are heavy elements. So this isn't something like, like, oh, I like bands like I Hate God. I need something that heavy and sludgy or something like that. It's not like that, right? We're talking about like a punk rock, more rock type of album. But so it's 12 songs, about 40 to 45 minutes, and it's called Date Night, which is great because it's not like your sappy romantic album. It's an album for people who want some good positive energy about some messed up things, right? Some fucked up things. And you're right, I want to put forth a little bit of attitude and a little bit of spitfire, but I don't want to be too serious. I don't want to be overly funny, right? Like that kind of corny funny. So it's a good mix of a lot of things. And so my overall review for the rating for the album is a 7 out of 10. And don't let that fool you, though, because I would hardly give anything a 10 out of 10. When's the last time you heard a 10 out of 10 album? Right, so it's much closer to a 7 out of 9 review, which, right, that sounds better. But the other part is this, for me, I go to a lot of shows. I've seen a lot of bands over the years. I listen to a crap load of music, more than most people. And 7 out of 9 means this is a band that you listen to their stuff, you go see them live, and you're going to enjoy it, right? May not be your favorite, but you're not going to walk away like, oh, this was garbage. I suppose some people would, but reasonably speaking, you're going to walk away satisfied with what you heard or saw or both. So, Filthy Traitors album, Date Night, I listened to it about a dozen times, and the first 6 times or so are just like, let it wash over you, right? Hear it, get kind of familiar with it, get kind of used to it, a little bit of back-to-back listening. You start to get, right, the hooks, the catches. Oh, I want to hear this next song, I really like it, and then 6 listens or so that are more like, how's the mix? How are the vocals? Can I hear the bass? Because one of my biggest pet peeves is the bass is drowned out in a lot of albums. Especially, if you're a local band, not a particularly big band, you may not have the money to get somebody who can really engineer an album, so on and so forth. So I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And I think that they did a remarkable job putting this album together. It sounds great. Chelsea's vocals are fantastic. Everything is mixed well. And it's very clean, which I like. I like to hear a clean album. And then that doesn't mean I don't want something gritty, right? Love gritty stuff, and there are gritty pieces on this album, but overall, like, it's very enjoyable to hear. There's not distractions that's going to be there. There's not a lot of static or disruption as far as like the process of recording an album goes, and mixing it. So it's a quality album to listen to. The songs are well written. They're a lot of fun. And it was cool because I've heard a few of these songs played live, but I hadn't heard most of them prior to the album. So to listening to it for this review. So it was really cool to be like, oh, I know these songs and I haven't heard these songs yet. And there's a lot of growth between this album and what they've done before, like every band should have. So I think, they offer kind of a unique spin on the music. But I think too they have a song called Salt and Sin, and I think they have a few songs that really are nostalgic, right? So the old heads who like the old school rock, the old school kind of punk rock, I think there's something for you on here. And I think for the people who want something new, you might not get the bleeding edge of music, but you're not going to get that on most albums. So I think for most fans, this is a good album for you to hear. I think for most people who are reasonable, not on the extremes in any way, shape, or form, you're going to listen to this album and you're like, this is good, this is great, I really like it, I want to go see this band. And I don't think anybody would walk away feeling disappointed. Now, could happen, right? In fairness, it does happen to some, but it could happen to any band. So, right, this is why we need to push that kind of stuff aside and just say, look, this is a quality album by a band who crafted it well and made sure that what came out at the end was well made and sounds good. I know the band, when they play live, they have a lot of fun. And they give you a good show. Sometimes it's kind of interactive with the crowd, depending on how the night goes. So I'm a music fan. This is an album I'm going to like. This is a band I'm going to go see and enjoy seeing. And I think it's worth your time. So let me see. It's 12 songs, about 40 to 45 minutes. It's a follow-up to their 2021 EP, Even After Death. And again, it's called Date Night, and it's not like a sappy thing. So I don't know if there's anything else really tech-wise that I'm going to get into about it. I do know that as the album went on, I kind of felt more immersed in it, which I know initially sounds really obvious. Like, well, of course you've been listening to this, but I feel like, right, it's not like I'm looking at a painting and I'm becoming more immersed in the painting. I feel like it's like, oh, there's something moving here. There's something continuing on here, like a story, and I'm going along with it. And this isn't like a concept album, so I don't mean it like that. I just feel like it's an experience that you can get into and stay in and enjoy, which I don't feel that with a lot of albums. I feel like if you like the first song, you're going to like the last song and all the songs in between. Even though they vary. But, there's albums that come out where you're like, oh, I like songs number 1, 2, 4, 7, 10, but I really didn't like these other songs. And I don't think that's going to happen here. So I think for most people, 70% of people, you're going to listen to this album, enjoy the punky, rocky aspects, not overly silly, not overly serious. It's right in the middle of a lot of things that you enjoy, and I think it's worth your time to give it a few listens, and I think they're a band worth going to see. So if you're in the Seattle area, I don't know how often they get outside of it, but I know that they do. I think that you should go check them out, especially after this album drops, because I imagine they'll put a lot of the new stuff on their live set. So again, Filthy Traitors, Seattle area murder punk band, drops their new album Date Night. It'll be out about March 15th, and it is worth your time to give it a few listens, have some fucking fun with it, and hopefully catch them live. So leave some comments below about what you like about the album, about, oh, hey, you said this in the review, it didn't match at all. about, hey, where are they playing, or we want them to come play here in Idaho, whatever. Interact, because that's the only way this stuff really matters, right? We can't all just listen to these albums in a closet in our room and never bring them out into the world, right? So leave some comments below, and if you think I'm a jackass, you can say that. It's okay, but it's not about me. We're talking about the album, so try to stay on point. Other than that, thank you for your time, and hope you enjoy.